starfruit that is, by the way, just cascading. It's dripping with fruit. If anyone needs some starfruit, after the plane ticket, it's all you can eat. So just, you know, as long as you feel like you can get your money's worth, come on over. Look at this. This is gonna break a branch. We're gonna have to harvest some of these so we don't break the branches. But luckily they're only on the lower branches. Up there, there's nothing. These are some bromeliads that I just put in the ground a couple weekends ago. They're doing just fine. I think they're gonna come back no problem. The sunlight should actually make these things turn purple. This is an avocado. Now you'll see quite a few of my leaves have this damage. In fact, we'll just take this. And this, if you turn it over, these are a new pest here called the lacewing bug, I think. They've been here for a few years. They attack the tree and cause this leaf burn. They will not kill the tree, but they will weaken it significantly, and it won't fruit quite as much. We haven't gotten any avocados anyway just yet, so no loss there. I need to clean this guy up. This is cacao, chocolate. Come on, focus. These are the delicate little flowers. And you can, if I can get the camera to focus. Very pretty little, they look almost orchid-like. This is a cacao we've had in the ground for a couple months. We bought it already pretty big. We have another one over there that is its partner, about the same size, and they've both been blooming up a storm, but we haven't gotten any pods yet. Fingers crossed, soon. So this one here is called a Moringa, also known as Jamaican cherry, also known as strawberry tree. Now, there is another strawberry tree that looks completely different and has a completely different fruit that actually looks like strawberries. These do not look like strawberries. The reason it's called the strawberry tree is the flower, the bloom, looks exactly like a strawberry tree, a strawberry flower. I don't think I have any right now. I don't have any right now to show you. Here's the back of it though. Yeah, the fruit has a bunch of very small seeds in it. You can just crunch them up with your teeth. It's actually a nice little texture, kind of like Rice Krispies or something. Crunch, crunch, crunch. And it does taste a little bit like strawberries, not really. Mostly like cotton candy. It's got a very sweet flavor. It's a favorite for children. It's a bit like candy. It's a really good one. It will grow to a big shade tree, but you can keep toppicing it. I'll just take the top off a few times, and by removing the top, I'll keep it nice and short. These palms here are acais. So when you get your acai bowl, This is the fruit tree it comes from. It comes from a palm. They're little purple berries that come out of the crown of the palm. And after harvest, they turn the pulp into a liquid and then freeze it. And then they sell that frozen liquid, and that's how you get your acai pulp. This is Cranberry Hibiscus, and yes, it tastes like cranberries. You can eat that leaf, and it tastes kind of tart, tangy, pretty tasty. It's good. This is Grummy Chama. The Grummy Chama is also known as Brazilian cherry. It comes from the Brazilian rainforest. The genus species is Eugenia, wait, don't tell me. Eugenia brasiliensis, I think. I'm gonna double check that. Yeah, going on the record, Eugenia brasiliensis. Oh, that's a mountain apple. That's a syzygium, related to wax jambu or lily pilly if you have ever been to Australia. This is a cousin of that fruit. This sad fellow, we had a drought a few months back, and this guy got cooked pretty bad. He's called a bandicoot berry. Not edible for humans, but very popular amongst birds and pollinators and beneficial insects. You can see he's coming back strong though. Look at that. This beautiful, and this is really why I have it. Aside from the pollinators and beneficial insects, that's really the real reason. But aside from that, it makes a very nice ornamental because of this gorgeous growth. Look at that. Look at that new growth. Isn't that beautiful? So I lean towards food plants, but if something brings in a pollinator, I'm in, man. The bees say it's okay by me. The bees vouch, we're in. This is the other starfruit, or carambola. You see, this thing is also just absolutely loaded. Fully loaded. And then this wicked looking thing, check this out. These are called Roselle. It is also in the hibiscus family. He split, he got so big and so full of these pods. These are edible. These are edible pods. You can take these petals and eat them, or you can dry them, and it's what the drink Jamaica, or Jamaica if you're uncultured. Jamaica in the store, if you ever see it, it's this. It also tastes like cranberries. It's very tasty. You can make a cranberry sauce out of it. It's also supposed to be good for your kidneys, I think. I don't remember. I don't have a kidney problem. This one I'm really excited about. This is my jackfruit. And we've had male flowers for a little while, but we haven't gotten a fruit off of it yet until now. So this is the jackfruit. And jackfruit are in the Autocarpus family. Autocarpuses include a lot of things, a lot of amazing things. Probably most well known is the jackfruit and the breadfruit, the entire reason for Mutiny on the Bounty, and why we're stuck with Mel Gibson. But this is my first fruit. I don't know how well it's coming in. So if you're not familiar with jackfruit, it is the closest thing that I can compare it to that everyone's tasted is juicy fruit gum. There is some contention about this, but there is legend that that is what juicy fruit gum is based on. Some say it is, and some say it isn't what juicy fruit gum was based on. But whatever the truth is, it is a similar flavor. And if you can't get a jackfruit, but still want the closest thing you can get, run down to 7-Eleven. Run down to your corner store and pick up some juicy fruit. That's the closest you're gonna get. Might be able to find it frozen. Frozen might be better. This guy, I just transplanted him not too long ago. This guy right here. He's a Rollinia, and he's probably been in the ground for, I don't know, 5 months, 4 months. He went through quite a bit of transplant shock. He got messed up pretty bad, and then we had that drought, and the drought really put him in a bad place. But he is recovering really well. I gave him some fertilizer, some compost, some mulch, and he's doing much better. He's all those old leaves, those are the damaged ones, and the ones that still a little caloric, like this right here. These are the old leaves. They got a little messed up. These are the newer leaves. They're coming back though. This is Comfrey. Comfrey is something that is a chop and drop here. It's how we make our own mulch, our own soil, our own compost. It's full of nutrients. The plants love it. You just crack this apart. You can make it into a tea. You just break it up, you throw it at the base of the plant. The plant's really happy. It's great plant food. Comfrey is also a miracle plant in healing. You can, if you get a cut or a scrape, you can make a poultice out of this. You can put it on your injury, and it will heal you up really fast. It's like nature's Neosporin right there. This is Mexican sunflower. More on that later. This is an umau. See this guy? That's a native plant. I believe it's endemic. I believe it's endangered too. So we try to work around the native plants whenever we get a chance. This is an umau. He claimed this spot. He gets to keep it. This is where he lives. This is his home. They are really cool though. Which doesn't hurt. It makes it a lot easier to keep cool plants around. That's the new growth. That's the new growth right there. See the curl? They curl out like an octopus tendril. Doesn't that look like an octopus arm? This poor thing, this Charlie Brown Christmas tree right here. See this guy? Oh, so sad. Obviously it's dead, right? No. There is hope. The same drought that we went through messed this guy up, and he's coming back. That's a soursop, a guanabana. That's another annona. It's related to the Rollinia that I showed you that got messed up from transplant shock. Rollinia tastes like lemon meringue pie. This guy tastes like a sour apple Jolly Rancher, a creamy sour apple Jolly Rancher. Super good. It's another Mexican sunflower. This is a fishtail. We've got neighbors on this side here, so this is a privacy plant. We're gonna let this guy grow up with his buddy right here. They've been planted not too long ago. This is all new land here. So I realize that there's no context here. all of this is new land, kind of. We took all the rock that they had to dig out for the septic tank, and we dumped it here and pushed it out. And so this is actually just a pile of rocks in what used to be a little bit of a valley. So we kind of extended this area, and I mulched it to give the illusion of soil. So everything planted in this isn't doing so great because there isn't soil yet. It's really just composted mulch, and hopefully that'll get the ball rolling. I've also thrown some composted chicken manure and some other plant foods in there to kind of keep everything alive and happy. But that's why the soil doesn't look like soil, why there's no ground cover. It's why this bit of the garden looks a little weird. This little thing you may think is not a big deal, but it's Moringa, and it's a super fast grower. So while you might think it's small right now, in a few blinks of the eye, it'll be 12 feet tall. I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't remember what this is. I planted it because I want to find out. I sprouted the seed myself, and I forgot to label it. So we're gonna find out together. This is Pigeon Pea. It's another nitrogen fixer. It's really good for the soil. And it's growing like gangbusters in here. It's perfectly happy with the sad excuse for soil. This is a lemon drop mangosteen. Garcinia brasiliensis. These things are delicious, and I can't wait for it to fruit. This is an acerola. The acerola has, well, I've heard different stats, but the most common, and I'll average out the numbers, the most common claim is that one little cherry, which is a very tart, tangy, tasty cherry, sweet, but very tart. It has 8 times the vitamin C as a single orange. One little cherry. One cherry, 8 times the vitamin C. This is a Tahitian lime. We have one little lime hanging. We have one little lime hanging way down here. One guy, just all by himself. This is a special one, kind of rare, not really, but a little bit rare, less known, I guess. This is Eugenia candelina, or the rainforest plum. To me, it tastes a little bit like blueberries, but they call it a plum. Malabar chestnut. You might recognize this from your office. It's a popular indoor houseplant. Well, if you plant it outdoors in the right conditions, it will give you a delicious nut that can be roasted and eaten. The Rainforest Apricot. Planted this guy a couple weeks ago, so he's a little droopy. He still hasn't come all the way back. There's a little bit of leaf burn because sunlight went into the full sunlight, but he'll come back. He's already coming back. All of this is new growth. So he's already coming back really strong, super happy. That's a really old leaf. Don't let that be your judge. These are looking beautiful. This is a super tasty citrus called a Calamansi. And of course, we get variegated if that's an option, always. You see that? That's the little fruit. These things have the highest essential oil in their skin. The liminin, or whatever it is, the stuff they make into orange smelling, or I guess it's a lime, really. Maybe lime oil, orange oil, whatever. They use this to make essential oils, is all I can tell you. And it's really tasty too. It's very, very sour, but you sweeten it up a little bit, and you know, that little sugar cane juice, that's a tasty beverage. Very pretty tree though. I can't remember what this is. I've been staring at it for a minute and I can't remember what it's called. It makes a really tasty fruit. If I can look it up, I'll put it on the screen. Feel kind of stupid. This guy is ice cream bean, Inga Angelus, and as the name suggests, it produces a tasty bean. It's a long bean in a pod. In between each individual seed, there's a white, fluffy material that is the consistency of a wet cotton ball. I know that doesn't sound great, but trust me, it's delicious. Many of them, there are several varieties, don't ask me what variety this is, actually taste like vanilla. Have a little bit of vanilla flavor to them. Very creamy and sweet. It's a nice one. It's also a great chop and drop because it's a nitrogen fixer. It actually fixes the nitrogen in the soil. This is one that you coppice back. The roots do something where they die off. They cut back because there's less top, there's less bottom needed to feed the top. So it kind of abandons the extra roots, and those roots decay in the soil and release nitrogen. And that's how this is a nitrogen fixer. It adds nitrogen to the soil, not just because you chop and drop it, but also because the roots have gone into the soil, and when you chop and drop it, the roots die back, and that organic material gets added to the soil as well. You'll also see I'm stashing some plants here. Just got to figure out where I'm going to put them. This is called an orchid tree. I believe it's Japanese. There's also a pink variety. This is the purple variety. Very pretty. Very pretty tree. That's an abiu. This is delicious. This is a yellow fruit that is filled with caramel flavored pudding. Yeah, caramel flavored jello, I guess, really is the consistency. And this is our abiu. This one we've had in the ground for 4 or 5 years now, and it is producing fruit. They're coliferous, so the bloom happens right on the stem. And yeah, I don't know what else to tell you. The fruit is yellow, about the size of a softball, and it tastes like caramel, full of caramel jello. Delicious. This is a special one here. This is a meringue. It is also in the Autocarpus family. It got pretty beat up during the drought as well. But if you can look past all this chlorosis, all these sad yellowing leaves, you can see we got some fresh growth. So I think she's going to make it through. And this, it's a beautiful new leaf. I think we'll be all right. This thing is delicious. It's so tactily satisfying to pull apart, the fruit is. I can't even describe it to you. It's like, I don't know. It's its own thing, man. It's really good. I can't describe the texture that it is, that the skin pulls apart, but it is really just satisfying. It's like bubble wrap to the extreme. It's just so, I could tear them apart all day. In fact, Virginia does. She loves just tearing the skin to shreds. It's full of 1 million little white fruits that surround a single seed. Each little white fruit has its own single seed. And they do taste like vanilla ice cream. They have a little Autocarpus funk to them, but there is a definite vanilla ice cream, creamy flavor to it that is so good. This is really fantastic. This is a bucket list fruit right here. This is one you gotta try. This beautiful, variegated, gorgeous plant. with sooty mold, unfortunately. Got to clean that off. Jeez, that's upsetting. This is a variegated Caracara Orange. The variegation goes away as they ripen, unfortunately, but the plant is always beautiful. Can't wait to eat this. Tasty. That's a papaya that's only been here, I don't know, a month. They're very fast growing. I expect to get some soon. Hasn't been here long. So that was part one of the garden tour. Everything that's around in what we call the open acre. The part that is immediately surrounding the house. I'm gonna make a second video, the rest of the garden. The part that's up front. We have 8.5 acres here, almost 8.5 acres, just under a half. So, there's plenty more to show. And I'm not trying to make you sit there too long. You need a bathroom break, you look tired. And I don't mean that, I just mean get some rest. Self-care, it's important. Have a great weekend, everybody.